before we get into the video, use Underdog Fantasy and use code MyKill. It's right up here for a 100% deposit match up to $100 if you sign up using code MyKill. Go use it right now. Let's get into it. We got how great was Larry Bird's prime?
One of the most divisive characters in basketball history.
Y'all telling me I be talking over this shit, so let's turn it up. I'm going to make y'all go deaf. I'm sorry for screaming. I'm sorry.
Recognizing Bird.
Pause the video. I'm playing. Y'all giving me constructive criticism. It's all jokes. I can take it. Y'all tell me to shut up when they're talking. I'll shut up when they're talking. Maybe I won't though.
As the greatest player of all time, while some have him dropping out of the top 10 altogether. This coming in
I'm like LeBron. I don't understand what they mean when they say he's not top 10. Larry is top 7 to me. And let me give y'all my top 10 right now. LeBron.
Recent years, amid the
Jordan, Larry.
this current crop of
NBA
talent, coupled
what do you got?
Mounting narratives of the alleged physical inferiority of other eras.
Oh, well, you know, he was being guarded by plumbers and firemen.
And Larry Bird
JJ Redick saying that as an NBA player is kind of mad disrespect. Because in a few years, in 20 years, they may call JJ Redick a plumber. They're going to say LeBron was getting guarded by plumbers and electricians too. So, I mean, it's very disrespectful.
A major dilemma, which is on the rise as of late across the board in all of the major sports. How do you weigh different eras? How can you cross-compare different players who might have existed decades apart from one another, played against varying levels of competition, and in starkly contrasting league-wide environments? How can you factor in elongated time of play and peak performance extension amid technical advancements in nutrition, supplementation, training philosophies, and implementation? Fundamentally, the answer is complex.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What are you talking about, man?
But
we was having this talk last night, though. And I'm glad they paused on Bill Russell. Because somebody said Bill Russell was in a gaming party chat. And this is after the basketball game, after I recorded the Jokic after he hit the game winner. So I went to talk to the boys about the game, was talking about that. And somebody came on and said Shaq is overrated. And he said not only Shaq, because the Shaq was the wildest one to me. He said Wilt, Bill Russell, Kareem, said all the old centers are overrated because he was gassing up Jokic and Embiid. And he was saying that because of the skill set. And I was saying that doesn't make sense to me. Because it's different eras, and with big man, the argument is void to me than any other player or any other position in basketball. Because back in the day, if you were big, there was no reason for you to shoot jumpers. There was no reason for you to dribble the ball back to the basket, and there was skill in doing that. Drop step, post technician, all that, post spins. That was their skill. See what I'm saying? So I'm telling them, he's like, oh, that doesn't matter. If they playing this age, they won't be able to shoot. So they wouldn't even be good. They wouldn't be able to score. And I said, this is my argument. Then I'm going to get back to the video. I was like, that doesn't make sense to me, because if they played in the day's age, or they grow up watching in the day's age, they were the top athletes of their time. So I'm just saying, they're the top athletes of their time. Let's keep it in the book. If they were in today's era, they would develop and learn how to get a shot, and they would still be good players. Tell me what y'all think about that.
One element of comparison is easy. How dominant were you in your own time?
And that's what I was saying. You really got to compare on how dominant you were to your own era.
Competition within your own era, and how feared were you? And Larry Bird has one of the shorter careers of any all-time great in NBA history, as he was drafted with the number 6 overall pick in the 1978 draft.
Who went before him?
Celtics at the
he was number 6.
But Bird opted to return to Indiana State for his senior year in college and forego entry into the NBA until the following 1979 season at the age of 23. And on November 15th, 1988, just 6 games.
So you could do that back then? Like, you could get drafted and still like go back to college? So Do they have to draft him again, or is he just automatically going to the
Bird would
Celtics?
be diagnosed with debilitating bone spurs on both Achilles that
Woo,
would
what the
require
fuck?
immediate season-ending surgery. And at the age of 32, Bird would miss that entire season and postseason, leaving many to speculate that
Would he ever
Bird's
play?
career was over. And years later, Larry himself admitted he should have retired following the Achilles surgeries. However, the next season, at the age of 33, Bird returned and played 75 of a
He played
possible
75
82
games?
while averaging 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists per game.
After tearing basically 2 Achilles in the 80s? It's
In
crazy.
9 minutes a night.
That's actually
Load
crazy.
Management be damned.
You know,
But the decline
I don't like how you second LeBron right now, bro. What's the problem, bro? What's the problem, bro?
would set in sharply.
Well, I do see you put Kawhi in there, so I get
Bird's
that.
reluctance to miss games or sit out nights throughout his career, coupled with his intensely physical style of play, took its toll. In all, during his final 4 seasons, Bird missed 142 of a possible 328 games, and that was after missing only 27 total games over his first 9 years in the NBA,
Huh?
due to the sharp fall off amid a body that quickly failed him. Larry Bird played a total of only 897 regular season games and 164 playoff games.
That's over 1,000.
throughout his entire NBA career. Compare that to the self-proclaimed GOAT, who many believe has surpassed Larry Legend in recent years as the greatest.
Okay, so I'm watching LeBron hater. When you're a LeBron hater, I ain't gonna lie. When you're a LeBron hater, it's very quickly you can notice a LeBron hater. What's your problem with Bron, bro? On some real shit, what's your problem with Bron? Now, I don't respect people. I ain't gonna lie. I don't respect people. If you don't have Bron at least in your top 4, you are a hater. I want you to go look in the mirror and tell yourself, say to yourself, I am a hater. I'm fine with being a hater, but I just want myself to know that I'm a hater. Some real shit. I put this character on and shit. Bron is number 1. I put this character on like Bron is so much better than all these players. I just believe Bron has had the most dominant run, a 20-year dominating run over the league, arguably being the best player in a 20-year span. That is crazy. That's utter dominance. Michael Jordan is 2 to me. Dominance. Dominated for 10 years, basically. Really 8. 6 rings. 6-0. Number 2. Dominance. Godlike dominance. This man just tried to tell me, and I fuck with Larry. Keeping it a buck. Are you trying to tell me LeBron is not better than Larry Bird? Because people don't have Larry Bird in the top 10. Some people. I'm not one of those people. Larry's bottom 10. Like, he's in the top 10, but he's closer to 10 than he is to 5. Well, he's closer to 10 than he is to 1. And he may be 7 to 8 for me. I don't got Larry over Kobe. I don't got Larry over Shaq. I may not even have Larry. I'm putting him over Tim. I'm putting him over. I don't know. Who y'all take, Magic or Larry? I don't got him over Kareem. Don't got him over Bron or Jordan. After that, you can have at it. But this man is hating. I just had to pause the video to let y'all point out a hater. If you're one of these people that think like him, go look in the mirror and say, I'm a hater. If you accept that, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with if you accept that you're a hater. But if you're blindly hating and thinking you're speaking facts, it's just hate, bro. This man literally, he's past Larry Bird, bro. He has the most points all time. He's going to finish top 10, top 15 in rebounds. He's going to finish top 10 in assists. I don't give a fuck about y'all saying, oh my God, he played 20 years. He was supposed to do that. Cool. He played 20 years. Tell me somebody else that played 20 years. Are we not going to give him props for playing 20 fucking years? Tell me somebody else that was this dominant for 20 years. Let's be honest right now. Let's be honest. Look at me. Be honest.
In NBA history,
that one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
LeBron James.
Great.
Played to date in 1,703 combined.
That's the GOAT right there.
Season and playoff games.
How did this turn into a LeBron hating video? What the fuck is going on? I clicked on how great is Larry Bird, and you meet second Bron.
Nearly 700 more total games than Larry Bird played, and LeBron is moving on to season number 21 and counting. it is conceivable that James will end up playing in twice the amount of games as Larry Bird. It's no wonder James and other all-time great players dwarf Bird's statistical accumulation with the relatively limited career Bird had in terms of time played. But in understanding the context of his career from a peak standpoint, and when factoring in the NBA built around him at the time, Bird produced arguably one of, if not the best primes ever. Coming into the league the same season as Earvin Magic Johnson in 1979, it would be Bird that won Rookie of the Year that season, while also being named.
I ain't gonna lie, if we keep it book, I've done my research on this. They kind of hold Magic. But let's keep it up. Who won Finals MVP though? He won Rookie of the Year. Somebody else won Finals MVP. So hey, it worked out, right? It worked out. What would you rather have? Rookie of the Year, Finals MVP. So you can say that, but Magic won Finals MVP first year. Oh man.
To first team All-NBA and making the NBA All-Star team in just his rookie season. And from that 1979-1980.
Let's add more context. He was on the most sucked team at the time, the greatest team at the time. Let's add more context. Come on, let's keep it a buck now. Let's keep it a buck. He was on the most sucked team at the time. I do research on basketball. The most sucked team. When I say that, like the most popular team in basketball at the time was the Celtics. He was going into a role with players that was already established to be good. So yes, Larry Bird is a great. I'm not saying he was not, but he was going into a situation where, yes, if you're the best player on the most popular team with also other good players, yes, you're going to be on the All-Star, All-NBA teams. Duh. And then you talk about a league that really didn't have star power yet. Larry and Magic brung the star power. Other than Kareem and Dr. J, really wasn't really star power yet. So they brung the star power. So duh, it's gonna be all NBA first season. Like it's not that crazy.
Named.
Now if you bring it to the 2000s, you got players like AI, Kobe, Shaq, freaking. You got Grant Hill going crazy. Like bro, you got players that was already like. It ain't the same as if somebody coming to the league today. If somebody in a rookie year make All-NBA first team today, it's way more impressive than doing in the 80s. If y'all say it's not, y'all are haters. Go look in the mirror and say you're hating.
First team All-NBA for the first
I'm rocking with Bird though.
Seasons of his career.
And that's also crazy.
The Celtics would make 8.
But it's not as much star power.
Finals over.
But it's also nobody as good as Larry in that time. He would have still made
it. Was a far cry from that of the Chosen Ones era that he feasted on, which was one
Jesus Christ. I clicked on this video to see how good Larry was. Why are you sucking LeBron? I'm actually getting mad now. What is going on? Comparing to somebody fucking else. You're talking about the greatest player of all time, and some of y'all gonna say 2. Now, some of y'all that's starting to hate and say, if you say anything below 4, I promise you, your opinion's not valid to me. You don't know ball. It's just simple as that. I'm gonna keep it buck. I'm tired of sugarcoating it. You don't know ball if y'all have LeBron lower than 4. You are a fucking hater. Literally a hater. It's all as simple as that. Hating person. It's cool. It's cool to be a hater. If you want to be a hater, be a hater. But we speak facts on this channel. I got LeBron 1. I told you I only got LeBron 1 because I never got to see Jordan play. Maybe if I got to see Jordan play, maybe I would put LeBron 2. But my dad also did see LeBron play and Jordan play. And guess who he says is the best player of all time? This man. That's why I'm a LeBron fan. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. Now let's speak the facts. Let's speak the real facts. If you have this man below 4, if he is out of your top 4, you don't know ball. I will only respect Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and people that put Kobe over LeBron. Anybody else, I do not respect you. I'm just keeping it a buck. There is no small forward better than this man. Stop sucking his meat. Cool. Compare him to KD or some shit. Giannis or some shit. Steph Curry or some shit. They starting to say those players are better than him. Why the fuck are you on LeBron's dick?
Of the historically weakest conferences ever, but the Eastern Conference of the 19...
Gang, okay, if you want to say that, I'm starting to actually get mad. If you want to say that, the NBA was the weakest, it was the weakest. If we go from the 80s to now, the 80s is the weakest time in basketball from the 80s to now. So what are we saying? What the fuck are we saying? What are we actually saying? You just said we're not gonna compare. You just said we shouldn't compare eras, and you're comparing LeBron's era to fucking Larry Bird's era. You're literally arguing your own fucking argument. Are you slow? Are you slow?
80s was the power conference. This decade saw one of the greatest teams in NBA history in that conference. The 1983 Moses Malone,
that's one team,
Julius Irving-led Philadelphia 76ers. It had the Bad Boys Pistons.
They came on later towards the end of that Celtics run, but I feel you.
Dominique Wilkins, Atlanta Hawks.
Okay, if we're bringing up the fucking Hawks, this nigga's tweaking. I ain't gonna lie, the Hawks was good, but are we really comparing? Damn. They're not better than the fucking 2010's Toronto Raptors. What are we doing? You're making me sound like I'm hating Larry. And I fuck with Larry. Larry's one of the only OGs I have a jersey for. What are you doing? You just told me we wasn't comparing eras, and you started comparing eras.
Perennial 50-win Milwaukee Bucks team, and
is that the team with Danny Aldridge?
A perennial.
Who is that? Is that Danny Aldridge?
Milwaukee Bucks team and Michael Jordan.
Mike didn't have a team yet, and by the time Mike got a team, the Celtics was already shot. Let's stop, bro. Mike couldn't even get out the first round. What are we fucking doing? I got a headache. Got a headache. Got a headache. I feel like I'm losing brain cells. I got told we wasn't gonna compare eras, and we started comparing eras. Started comparing eras, man.
There were no easy.
LeBron was going up against multiple 60-win teams in the East. If you're bringing up a 50-win fucking Bucks team, I'm gonna pray for you.
Series in the
I'm gonna pray for you.
Eastern Conference playoffs during the decade of the 1980s. Yet Larry Bird found his way to 5 NBA Finals over the first 9 years of his career. And his reward for battling through the gauntlet of those stacked Eastern Conference was meeting one of the greatest teams ever assembled in the NBA Finals from the Western Conference. The Celtics and Larry Bird had the misfortune of running up against...
And then also, let's add another thing into it. Well, are we going to add in the fact... Now, I got my cup that I be keeping my juice in, the secret juice, the secret sauce. But are we going to add in the fact that Larry was also on the most stacked team at the time? And it sounds like I'm arguing against Larry, but you turned me into this. I was coming to suck Larry, but you made me defend my GOAT, the GOAT James. Why did you even bring him up? I didn't even know nothing about this. Why did you start sucking him? That's my only question. He's on the most stacked team. His team is more stacked than the Lakers. Let's keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. His team is more stacked than every team that was playing. More loaded than any team that was playing. Though they have more Hall of Famers than any team in that era. Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Larry Bird. Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, it sounds like blatant hate. For real, for real. It sounds like blatant hate.
Lakers in 3 NBA Finals.
Now the Lakers, it was more even.
2 top 5 players ever, Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I don't know if Magic top 5, he top 10.
Had top 50 all-time player
James Worthy,
perennial all-star James Worthy as the third option. Yeah, Bird lost to that team twice in the NBA Finals for his only 2 finals losses. But he also beat that team in the NBA Finals for 1 of his 3 finals wins. Oh, and also beat the Hakeem Olajuwon Rockets in another NBA Finals. The
young Hakeem, not the best version of the Rockets. Get it right. Add context. Add context. Stop just saying shit to get sucks and likes. Add context. This is not a knock against Larry. It may sound like I'm hating Larry. I love Larry. Go watch my other Larry Bird reactions. I like Larry more than most people like Larry. I have Larry number 7 and 8 on my top 10. But he is not going to rewrite history to shit on today's players. I'm not doing it.
Accumulated
I'm not even going to let him do it.
high-end opponents Bird faced throughout his 9-year run puts him in the running of having acquired some of the most difficult rings in league history. But this should come as no surprise, since Larry Bird was one of the most high-leverage winners the sport of basketball has ever seen, as the Celtics were just 32-50 and 29-53 the 2 seasons prior to Bird's arrival. But in just his first season in the NBA as a rookie, Bird elevated the Celtics from 29 wins to 61 and took Boston all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. And over the 9-year run until his dual Achilles surgery practically ended his career, the Celtics won an average of 61 games a year and never won fewer than 57. During that 9-year prime, beginning in his rookie season at the age of 23 and running until his double Achilles surgery at 32, Bird averaged 25 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals per game, while shooting 50% from the field, 38% from the three-point line, and 88%.
Those are LeBron numbers before LeBron.
Right. During that 9-season run, Bird finished top 5 in MVP all 9 seasons, with an absurd 4 second-place finishes during that time and 3 first-place finishes. His 4 runner-ups were to Moses Malone twice, Julius Erving, and Michael Jordan. His 3 league MVPs were won consecutively over the span of 1984 to 1986, and done in a league that had Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, Julius Erving, Dominique Wilkins, Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Michael Jordan. In the 1980s,
I ain't gonna lie, my brother. I was with you when you was naming the first few. Once you got to Moses, and Moses is a tough center, but Moses is not even a top 5 fucking center ever. So you were just stretching names, and a lot of those names you put at the end were young at the time. Add context. I'm going to tell you again. Add context. Add context. Charles Barkley was young. We're not talking about Charles Barkley in his prime to the 90s. Talking about the 80s Charles Barkley. Talking about a Michael Jordan that was the 80s Michael Jordan. Not even with Phil Jackson yet. He's not even really running a triangle yet. Not even peak Jordan yet. Keep it a whole buck. Keep it a buck. I know sports. I know basketball. You're not finna just tell me blind shit and give me the big names with no context and get me like you getting everybody else. I'm not like that. They may fall for that shit by names and shit. That shit don't hype me, bro.
Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan.
Hakeem was young.
In the 1980s era, an era defined by arguably the greatest collection of high-end historical NBA talent.
That's fucking crazy.
Larry Bird,
that's the wildest
shit.
The
greatest player of them all during that decade, is an easy one to make. So while players that have played drastically longer than him might have stacked more stats than him, what if the question was how dominant were you in your own time? How much did you excel against the competition within your own era? And how
fam, I ain't
you
gonna
as
lie,
a player? Under those parameters,
this was the major suck of walk videos.
Bird still stands on an island with very few guys who have ever played in any era.
This is crazy. I've never seen suckers like this. It was an okay video. I'll give it a like. Yeah, I like the facts he put up for Jordan. You did not have to start put like. And y'all are sucking it. Hey man, let me know what y'all think down below, man. These are some videos to look out for in the future. I got these to react to soon, so let me know what y'all think about those. Which ones do you want first? I love y'all boys. I'll catch y'all on the next one.